Hey, greetings, peace, blessings, love, unity, joy, all of that, all of that. Let's jump in. I lost my water, so let me go and find that. Greetings. Hope everybody's doing well today. I am happy and abundant and alive and feeling even more gratitude. I'm always grateful for everything I experience, for the ups, the downs, the struggles, the victories. But yeah, I am feeling just very joyful today. There we go. Let's get us set up here. So today we have an abundance frequency going on. Let me see. Okay, let me scooch this way so that we can fit the whole thing in the screen there. And blessings. Welcome everybody. Thank you for joining me. Let me see. I'll push back and get those flowers in there if I can. There we go. All right, kind of, sort of. Oh, thank you, my husband. Love you. And you were one of the reasons that I am so grateful today. I actually wanted to get on. It's funny they, jumped in with the blessings. But I wanted to, to talk to everybody today about prosperity and the idea, in this hustle culture that we're still kind of working our way through. We're evolving. Money is evolving. And we're evolving a new concept of what money is and how money works. And so this medium of exchange is shifting. Money is a means of communication between two people saying that, I thank you for what you have done for me. That's what money is. Money is a gratitude. It's a gift of gratitude. It's an exchange of gratitude, saying I'm grateful for what it is that you have given me. And the level of, we set our own value, with the things that we offer, with our offerings, with our service, with how we give away our time and everything. And so, but our concept of prosperity is still very money focused at this point, and we are still in the process of evolving through that. And the things that when we look in life, the things that we're actually grateful for, that the things that actually make us thrive are so much deeper than that conversation that money is. Real prosperity is all of the things. Do you have a life that you're grateful for? Are you grateful for, do you move through most of your day, most of your life, each moment from the time you wake up until the time you lay your head down at night? Do you have, how many things do you flow through and have gratitude for? How many things hit you damn, I'm grateful for this moment. Oh my God, I'm grateful for this person. Man, I'm grateful for this experience. And if your life isn't feeling like that on a regular basis, if it feels hard and feels like you have to push and grind and force your way through your experiences, or muscle up or be strong to live through your experiences, something is off. This heart detox. We're on day 27 today. We are on day 27. We have one more day because we promised one full moon cycle of the heart detox. And so we will be going, after tomorrow, we will be going, moving on to a new organ, to a new body part. And I would love, actually, while I'm speaking on that, I would love to hear from you guys in the comments. What would you like to work on next? So as we heal the heart, as we go through the heart detox, what other kind of stuff comes up for you? What other things in your body are blocking your abundance, are blocking your prosperity, are blocking your joy? What else do you have going on? What other challenges? What other kind of health challenges? What's happening inside of you that is affecting your ability to just move with amazing gratitude? Hey, peace. 11, yay. What is blocking your ability to move with peace? Some people have, if we talk about the emotions that the different organs store, kidneys, purifying the kidneys is extremely important, and especially as a lot of people are in kind of, New Year's resolution phase where we're trying to reset and make get the body fit or detox the body. Having very healed kidneys and very cleansed liver is a big deal. Ooh, overthinking. Oh my gosh. Yes, yes, yes. Clearing out the mind, detoxing the mind of all of that stuff is incredibly important. Detoxing the mind of overthinking, that is a huge one. And as we work through the heart, the reason why I start all detoxes with the heart is because once the heart is clear, once the heart is in a space of joy, it's a lot easier to not overthink. It's a lot easier to just be in the moment and not to be living in the past or worried about the future. But that's the most important, because everything that we do, everything else that we experience is going to come back to the heart space. So we start with the heart, and once that's clear, when we go and cleanse the liver holds anger, liver holds planning. So all the things that reflect anger, stress, being annoyed, all of those type, impatient, all of that stuff, those are all liver issues. If you're impatient all the time, that's a liver issue. If you have if you make plans where you can't seem to show up on time and things like that, those are liver issues. That means there's something in alignment that is off in the liver. So it's important to detox that. And once we get to liver, once we move around there, I will talk about different ways to physically detox the liver using, earth medicine, aka plants and things like that. That is very important. And also for the kidneys. So once we get to kidneys hold worry, fear, when we're anxious about the future, when we're concerned about what's coming, when we're, listening to the news all the time and thinking, oh my God, the world is such a terrible place, and I can't give birth in this world, and oh my gosh, and what's happening next, and where should I go with my family? When the news and things like that are meant to keep us down in what about completing projects? That's liver. Anything to do, but interestingly, actually completing projects, and I spoke about this in my book, in the first yoga book. When I was going through, because I had tumors. If you have fibroids in your ovaries, ovarian fibroids specifically, I'm talking about. If you have uterine fibroids, that is a sign of something different. Ovarian fibroids are a reflection of, because your ovaries are where your seeds come. That's where you birth seeds first before the seeds move to your uterus and to be fully formed. They are birthed through the ovaries. So if you have ovarian fibroids, there's an energy on you of the inability to complete things, because an ovarian tumor is formed, or an ovarian fibroid is formed by the seed comes to ripen, but it can't fully push its way out of it doesn't fully ripen to leave the ovaries. And so it gets stuck there. And so when we make plans and we're like, if you find in your life that you kind of like never manage to finish plans, that is an issue going on with the liver and also going on with the ovaries in a woman. And then men, that would be that testicle issue. So when like a failure to launch is a sign of issues going on with those two. So those are very specific between the liver and that. And the beauty of there being a connection between things, as above, so below, is that if you fix the below, the above will shift. And if you fix the above, the below will shift. So you can go about those things two ways. So you can heal your body by shifting your paradigm and saying, like, it's time for me now to start completing projects. It's time for me to see something to completion. I will focus on one thing and I will keep working at it until I complete it, and then move on to something else. And the person we have to become, sometimes it's so crazy how hard it is even just to do one thing, to complete one thing. If you set your mind to completing one thing and you realize all of the pulls, you're getting pulled in this direction, you actually start to realize the root of how you ended up in that behavior pattern, how you ended up in that holding cycle. For me, I've always been a people pleaser, and I want everybody to be happy. So if I'll start on my own journey, so chugging along, all right, I want to complete this today, to start moving, and then somebody's like, oh, hey, could you check on this for me? And I'm like, oh, yeah, I got you. And I jump up to go handle that, and then somebody else checks in with, a question. And so I'm constantly being pulled because I'm focusing on what it is that everybody needs and trying to catch up on everyone. And what I realized when I went into that space of focus for myself, like, okay, it's time for me to do one thing and get it done. And allow nothing to move me from that. And just in the process of doing that, I realized that I was allowing all of these side pieces of other people's energy and other people needing me to pull me away from what I needed from me. And so then I had to go deeper into that. And so that became a healing process. So don't underestimate the power of just setting out to do one thing and just making like one day of trying to force myself to only complete things that I said that I was going to do for that day. And then having to go to, like, you have to go and you have to say no to people. You have to feel in yourself, is it uncomfortable for you to say no to people? You have to feel like, is it the things that you're setting your goals, your target that you want to accomplish for the day, is it something you really don't want to do? And in the process of that, you actually have to discover, you have to be honest with yourself as you are committing to just completing one thing. You'll discover a lot about yourself in that. It's amazing how the little things, the answer is always in the little things. We go over these huge, like, oh, I'm going to accomplish this and I'm going to do that, and here's the root cause of this, and I'm going to take these things and these healing tools. And a lot of times making one very small shift is where the depth is. The answer is inside of that. So yes, definitely. Anything, I really would. I would love to hear from you guys in the comments, like whichever, and whoever is just joining. Thank you for coming in. What organ should we work on next? As we clear out the heart and we open ourselves to living a life of joy and reset this GPS to guide us, this guidance system to take us toward what it is that we really want to be living, to who we really want to be living with, to how we really want to be living, to what things we want to have in our lives, what things we want to have materially, what things we want to have financially, what type of friends we want in our circle, what type of partner that we want. All of those kind of things, all of that is decided, all of that is here because this space is connected to our destiny, connected to our function for actually incarnating in the first place. So this is the point to reset. This is the place to go back to. But once we realize those things, once we recognize what it is we want in our lives, and then and the distance between what we want in our lives and the distance between us having it, those are layers that need to be pulled out, and all of those layers are stored in other parts of our body. So what are you worried about? What's happening with your kidneys? What are you stressed about? What's happening in your uterus? What kind of things, like what's making you angry on a daily basis? What's going on with your liver? What grief are you holding on to from your past? That's what's going on in your lungs. And so as we move through and we go through these different detoxifying these different organs that hold all and store these emotions energetically for us, we start to clear out the blocks that are in the way of that GPS. Like, okay, this is what I want in my life. Well, why don't I have it? Oh, okay, because I'm still holding grief. I'm still holding on to old wounds from childhood, because I'm still holding on to anxiety or worry or fear of not having enough money in the future, because something just shifted in my life and I'm not able to process the change, and it's making me angry. And so the liver, so working through all of those things, and as we shed those layers, then we start to actually move closer without having to force our way and use our willpower and get into what do we have to do? We don't have to force anything. We don't have to push anything. We don't have to struggle to get ourselves there. All we need to do is just release the blocks and just allow things to move out of us. And as we do that, the things we want just automatically magnetize to us. Once this heart space is clear, the things we want will literally begin to magnetize to us. It is a natural process and an automated process. Just like you don't have to think about breathing every single breath you take all day long, you don't have to think about prosperity or abundance either. When you clear the blocks out of the way, if you're breathing, if somebody has a pillow over your face, you have to start thinking about breathing, because you got to figure out what you need to do to get that thing out of the way so that your breath can happen again. And once your breath is happening again, you're back to not thinking about it. You're back to focusing on all kinds of other stuff. Imagine if you had to focus on your breath every single breath. And there's some of us who don't even have to imagine that. We've experienced what it feels like. If you're underwater, if you've ever experienced almost drowning, if you have asthma, you know what it feels like to have to concentrate on your breath. so that you can't even take breath for granted. But the thing is, we treat abundance and prosperity the same way. We treat it like something we have to constantly be focused on. We have to focus on money. We have to chase money. We have to hustle. We have to figure out all the answers. We have to get all the ways. The thing that's actually happening when our prosperity is blocked is the same thing like the pillow over the face. There is something in the way. There are things that are sitting over that natural process, which is a natural process which happens on its own, just like breathing. Abundance magnetizes to you. You don't have to earn money. You magnetize money. You magnetize exactly how much money it has been put into your mind and your heart that you deserve to have. And that's how much you will pull. And the more you think about it, the more of a difficult process that it is. When you magnetize abundance to you, when you magnetize joy, when you go out and have, like when my husband and I, when we go to the beach and we take all our scuba gear and we're out there and we're practicing our scuba diving and we're just like having fun in the sun on the beach on a regular day, that's just joy. That's just free joy taking place there. It's just like without having to make effort to try to have joy. When we have to try to have things, that's when it becomes difficult. When we try to breathe, when we try and focus on our breath, anything that we have to try and concentrate our attention and our focus on becomes not joyful because it's not moving from a place of inside of us. Think about the first time when you started driving and you get in the car and it's like the day of your driving test or something, and you get in the car and you focus like, oh my God, don't let me forget anything. Do I have the seatbelt locked? Oh, I have to adjust the mirror. Let me make sure the mirror. Pulling away from the curb, parallel parking, and we think the whole process. We think our way through the process because it's something new and it's something that we're finding our way into. But once we're driving, after you've been driving for, think about the difference between the day of your driving test and all of the stuff you had to do and focus on, and then you're driving, and most of us now are driving, we texting while we're driving. Hopefully nobody's doing that. I used to be very, very much a texter and driver, and I really just stopped doing that. I really just find it, it's not good for your peace to constantly be having to focus on a million things. And there are some places where I feel like it's finally time for us to, in a space of living in the present, to finally just put the damn phone down. If you have to take your phone in the bathroom every single time you go in there, you're not in the space to be with yourself and just sit with yourself for 5 minutes. If you have to be texting and driving and you cannot stop, then you're still stuck. You're still stuck in a moment that is outside of you. You're stuck in the future, stuck in the past, stuck in somebody else's reality. If you have to scroll social media while you're driving, and I hope nobody's driving while you're watching me right now, or at least if you have the phone set on the thing. But if you have to be doing that, if that's a habit where you just have to be like, what is the function of that? I was in a car accident in July, and thankfully I wasn't texting and driving, but that car accident made me even more focused because I had already given up that habit, but it made me even more focused on what is the purpose. And I don't know, the driver behind me may have been texting and driving before he hit me. What is the purpose? What is the necessity of focusing on the world outside of what it is that you're doing right there? That's how you lose joy. We lose joy by focusing on everything that's going on outside of us. And then we're like, wow, the time seems to be moving faster. No, time isn't moving faster. It's just that your attention is focused on pointless things that don't matter. It doesn't matter, whose cat ate, something for breakfast yesterday, and that you have to see that while you're driving. The moments of calm and peace where we can just relax and focus on a TV show or social media or something is fine, but if it's not something that is inherently feeding you, it's something that's giving you something, and it's just like a mindless entertainment, that's not feeding joy. Those are things that we filter into our lives, that we allow in our lives to cover up a lack of joy. We cover up the anxiety, we cover up the stress, we cover up the grief with all those distractions. But just like when I was going through that space of healing my inability to kind of focus and complete a task, and those small tasks take you into that deep space, try for a day putting down the phone. Try just not using the phone. Try going a week of going into the bathroom without your phone, and just feel yourself again. Feel how you feel. Are you bored? Do you feel lonely? Does anxiety come up for you? Like, feel what happens for you when you are in a space, when you're just in space by yourself. Because after I started, stopped using the phone for everything and stopped scrolling social media while I'm driving and answering emails, I started doing bigger tests with myself. I started like, let me see if I go out to eat. Let me go out to eat myself. Take myself out. My husband knows. I take myself out on a date now and then. I like to dress up pretty or something, or just be regular, but just go to be in my own space with myself. I love to be with myself. I need to be with myself because that's how I connect with my heart space and connect. Like, hey, you good in there? Are we good? How you feeling? Are we happy? And I can, when I'm with myself alone, I can tap into me and my needs and what's happening with me. So when I go and I do that, I test myself by I'm gonna leave the phone in the car, or I'm gonna take the phone but I'm gonna leave it in my bag and not even take it out. So here I am and sitting in a public place by myself, and I'm not using social media, not using the phone, I'm not playing games, I'm not distracting myself. And it is uncomfortable, especially when the people around us are so used to, we have become so used to everybody is supposed to be in here with their neck bent and thumbs moving all the time, that if you're not doing that and you're out in public and you're by yourself and you're not doing anything, other people around you actually find it weird. And it's crazy. It did not used to be, the world did not used to be like that. If in some of you who may be, aroundish my age or older, remember a time when you could go to a cafe and you would just see like an old man in the corner, sipping on an espresso, or you would pass down your street, you'd ride your bikes down the street and see, some of the older people, the elders, sitting out on the porch in a chair or in a rocking chair or something, and just sitting and looking, and that's it. Just sitting and observing, just sitting and feeling the sunlight, or just sitting and watching the kids play, or something, just sitting and being there. And now it is like there's something wrong with us, and we feel it. Like you could feel the pressure of other people. It's kind of like, ooh, well, that person's just sitting there, and they're like become uncomfortable for you. But we need to learn how to be with ourselves again. Real elevation and real healing starts with tuning into this space here. You cannot be well if you don't know what's happening in here. You have to know what's happening in here. Oh, and don't even I didn't even go to the gut. I have been talking about all the other organs. We need to get to gut. We need to get to the gut, to the digestion, to what kind of things we're taking in, to whatever we're transmuting, and to whatever we're letting out. That is a whole entire chapter of its own. Maybe we'll do that next. Guys, let me know if you want to do of all the healing that we do when we get to these organs. If we want to go to digestion, if we want to go to the intestines, if we want to do liver, kidneys, or lungs, which one should be next. But yeah, all of these bring awareness. So as we tune in to these different spaces, it helps us focus on not just what's happening in here, but in the as above, so below. It helps us to see how am I interacting with the world around me? What am I doing? Am I taking the world for granted? Am I taking this present moment for granted by giving my attention away to the future, by giving my attention away to the past? Like what is happening? What is taking place there? So it's really important for us to tune in and be aware. The very first, I would say, chamber, I like to call them chambers, like the chambers in Shaolin, the 36 chambers. I love that. Because healing isn't about, we talk about healing in this Piscean way, like, the levels, and you go through levels and leveling it, and I don't even like the word levels anymore, even though it definitely applies at times, but levels implies that you're doing better than or less than, you're higher or lower, and what's really taking place is that there are different chambers. If you're going around a whole circle, if anybody has seen the 36 chambers of Shaolin, each chamber, there's not like, if you do this chamber now, you're good enough. Now you're better than the ones who completed that chamber. Each chamber carries its own understanding and learning and wisdom and growth and expansion. And the goal is to complete all of the chambers. The goal is not that, I did 3 chambers and you did 2, so I'm better than you, because the value of those chambers depends on what it is you're trying to bring to life. In the 36 chambers, there were chambers where he had to take buckets of water, and he had knives wrapped to his arms, and everybody would have to walk up in that chamber. They had to just go up, take a bucket of water, scoop water, pick up the water, go walk up these steps with it, and dump it down a sluice, and let the water sluice back down onto the ground and just wash away, and then go do it all over again. So it was like doing it for nothing but its own sake. And carrying buckets in there, of course, made his arms strong. But if you go into a chamber where you need to be a great kicker next, all that arm strength, what did that do for you? So that's its own chamber. And a lot of things in life, these are chambers that we move through. We move through chambers of understanding and chambers of wisdom and growth. And the chambers of understanding the body and how the body functions, those chambers do correlate to how we move through life. How we move, if you're impatient, what's going on in your liver? If you start to heal your liver, the impatience issues will come up. The anger issues will come up. The drinking issues will come up. The smoking weed will come up if you're healing your lungs. Your bedwetting as a 4-year-old will come up if you start healing your kidneys. Like the issues that we have, they do come up, and they connect to how we are functioning in the world. And we can make the correlation. So there is no one chamber that's more important than the others. Each chamber opens us to like an infinity of wisdom and how to relate to the world around us once that healing has taken place in that chamber. So we for everybody who has been here on the whole 28 days, tomorrow is day 28, and been through this cycle, it has been incredible. Like this cycle of healing, of heart detoxification, and all of the things that have come with it have been really powerful. I have gotten amazing messages from people about what the heart detox journey is doing for them. And rather than going to therapy for 7 years, and I'm not telling anybody not to do that, but rather than drinking for 40 years, I am telling people not to do that. Rather than using some of the more familiar tools that we have to take us to the... Oh boy. Okay, here we are back again, and sorry about that. I hope you guys do jump back on. What I was saying, literally no matter how often I tell people not to call me at this time, somebody invariably calls me during this time. This is what I mean about constantly getting pulled off your square. Like it's crazy how the things around us will take us away from what it is that we are trying to do. So I totally lost my train of thought of what I was even talking about just now, but I will go ahead and jump straight into the meditation. I guess it was time to finish, and so let's go ahead and get straight to the heart, and we'll finish up day 27. So for anybody joining me for the first time, daughter, I see you there. I am mad at you. Why would you jump in and mess the live up? But so now you owe me a heart meditation, and now you have to jump in and do it. All right, so for everybody who's joining for the first time, the camera is reversed, so just be aware. So just in case you get a mirror, the right arm goes up, and we're going to press it against the side over here, and the palm goes forward, and the left hand comes out here in front of the heart, and it goes about 4 to 6 inches in front of the heart, and then comes out another 4 to 6 and another 4 to 6. And as we're doing this, let me put our sound frequency. So today I'm playing an abundance frequency, because as I started talking about in the live before we got interrupted, we're talking about prosperity and about opening ourselves to everything that prosperity is. And real prosperity isn't something that we have to force or try or think about. And so for anybody who didn't connect on the one that I was just on, just like breathing, just like we take our breath for granted, and our breath, if we have to try, if somebody pushes a pillow down over our face, we have to, at that point, try to, hey, peace, sis. We have to try to breathe. So we have to try to focus on getting that next breath in. We have to try to get that pillow off of us and all the things that are required for us to make that happen so that another breath can come in. That's the same thing. And then once our breath is in us, once we're breathing again, normally we take breath for granted. and we're just breathing. Like, we don't have to focus on our breath. We don't have to focus. We can focus our attention on a dozen other things, and we don't have to think about breathing. And actual prosperity is the same way. Actual prosperity, we don't have to think about if you're hustling and grinding and trying to make money happen, then that's still like the pillow being held down over your face. Something is being held down over your prosperity, because prosperity is like breath. It is automatic, it is natural, it is something that flows. Like in real actual life, it is something that flows. So we have to move the pillow out of the way. We have to take the blockages out of the way so that the process of prosperity flows freely. And so doing work like this, doing heart detox, cleansing out the organs, and shifting the way we tune into life and the way we connect with life is removing that pillow off of the face. It is removing the pillow off of our prosperity, off of our abundance, off of our ability to experience joy in a full and natural way in our lives. So doing things like this is taking us there. The purpose of a heart detox, because some people are like, well, what does yoga have to do with, prosperity? Like, you can't use yoga to get rich. But yeah, you can. You actually can. I know I am doing it, and I know other people who are doing it. You can use yoga. Yoga isn't about stretching your hamstrings. It is about stretching your ability to connect with life in the fullest possible way. Yoga, they call yoga a practice. The practice of yoga is about stretching you and opening you to the reality. It's not a practice anymore when you are doing it in real life. Practice is for the home games, the fields, but in real life, it's happening. And so we take the yoga practice and then we reflect that practice into our actual daily living. And it's about opening, expanding, becoming aware of ourselves, becoming tuned into what it is that we want out of life, and then drawing closer and closer about removing that pillow off the face, getting that out of the way so that we can breathe into life, we can breathe into the world, and really fully connect with the life that we want to live. So let's go ahead and jump into day 27. So just to anybody joining me for the first time today, so the right arm goes up, the camera is reversed, so just in case you're trying to mirror, the arm goes up, right arm goes up, hand facing forward, left hand goes in front of the heart. So, and we're chanting Tum Ta Ru, Tum Ta Ru. So the hand comes about 4 to 6 inches in front of the heart, another 4 to 6 inches, and another 4 to 6 inches out on each one. And then we inhale back and we chant again. So while we do this chant, just keep the eyes closed and just keep your attention focused on your heart space and on really tuning in with your heart and really making a commitment and a connection to your heart about how you want to show up in the world. Who do you want to be? How do you want to show up with life? What kind of dance do you want to have with life? What is going to bring you joy? We're all here to experience joy, and the rest of the stuff is just stuff in the way, so that we understand what real joy is and what real joy takes, what is required for joy. If you don't have an experience of not joy, if you don't have an experience of what we call, dissatisfaction and dis-ease and unhappiness, if you don't experience those things and take yourself to joy, you don't understand the process of what it requires to make joy. So that process, we are removed from those things in order to go toward them and find them. Not because we don't deserve them, not because we shouldn't be happy. It is about the farther we are removed, the more deeply we can understand joy and about connection to that. And that joy, that's where our destiny lies. Our destiny lies in us, our process of figuring out our way back to joy. So we go ahead here, let's detox the heart so that we can tap right on in to that space of joy. Deep breath, and let's go ahead and begin. Tum Ta Ru, Tum Ta Ru, and sit up nice and tall. Tum Ta Ru, 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 tum ta ru. Last one, tum ta ru. And deep breath in and bring your hand back to your heart. Deep breath in and fill your heart space with a deep golden light like the one behind me. Fill your heart space with that radiant, glittering light. And exhale and bring your left hand on top of your heart and bring your right hand over it to support. And continue to hold that golden, sparkling light inside of you. That radiant golden light is like a seal of protection around your heart so that you can actually learn how to open your heart space, remove the detox, remove the blockages, remove the struggles, remove the pain, remove the wounds, remove the fears of your past. All the walls that you build up to protect your heart space from getting damaged again in the future. You don't need to hold that for yourself. You don't need walls. That energetic, that glittering, radiant golden light, that divine golden light, if you allow that light to radiate in from through you, from a space beyond you, and to fill your heart space and radiate out through your heart, then you don't need walls. Just like you can't pour water upstream into a river because that river is flowing downstream. when your heart is flowing, when that energy is flowing downstream, flowing from divine consciousness through you and out of you and radiating out into the world around you. There's things that are toxic and negative and sick and damaging cannot pour upstream and flow up into your heart space. You can protect yourself by drawing in, channeling in divine light from out, from beyond you, and filling yourself so fully that that is radiating out and pouring out of you. And then not only does it heal you, it begins to heal everybody around you, so that the people you come in contact with are not responding to that wall you have up and throwing themselves into a protection mode too. They are responding to that healing light that you have sparkling, that's coming out of you, and they are being healed by that light that vibrates out of you. So hold your light. Let your heart be that beacon, that space of light that others can come and tap into for their own healing. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to be anything. You don't have to try anything. You don't have to offer effort. Just by being, by holding that space for yourself, that energy radiates out of you and automatically heals who comes in contact with it. You don't need to apply effort. You just need to hold space for yourself. So just allow the walls, even if that is your practice for the day, allow your walls to come down just for today. And every time you feel yourself tightening up and putting that wall back around your heart, use that moment to draw that radiant light in from beyond you, however you connect to source, however you see source, however you see it, whether you're Kemetic and you see that all of the ancestors, whether you connect with the Orishas and you feel them all working through you, whether you connect with God, Jesus, Christ consciousness, with Buddha energy, with Hindu gods moving through you, whatever is your source and your understanding of connection, we are all here to draw that energy and that connection down and radiate that out into the world around us. So whatever it is for you, pull it in, and every time you catch yourself tightening that space, clenching your heart and blocking your heart off so that it doesn't get wounded by your experiences, allow that light, that golden light, to fill your heart space. And let it, imagining it pouring out of you, cascading like a waterfall, like a chocolate fountain, radiating out of you. Just let it pour and spill over out into the world around you. And then start noticing the reactions, the responses of things from that new space that you stand in. When you're behind a wall, you can't see people. You can't see anybody's real self from behind a wall that you put up for yourself. Because people respond to whatever it is that they're feeling coming from you. So if people are responding to you in a negative way, if you feel like people are angry or toxic or don't treat you well, they are responding to the wall that you have up. If you open that wall, if you allow and you let your heart flow, people will start to tune in. And you do need to be protected. Don't just fill up your heart space and just be the light. Let it, allow it to pour out of you with no intention about who it touches. Because then that's still controlling. You're still trying to control who it touches and control how they show up in your space for you. That's not for you to control. Just radiate, just like this is radiated in that golden light. Allow that light to radiate out from you. And then see how differently people respond to you at work, in your family, at home, your partner, your parents, your children. Watch how differently people respond to you when you're not operating from blocking off yourself with this wall. People respond to your wall. If you keep a wall up, you never meet the real them, because they're responding to your wall by putting a wall of their own. If you wear a mask, if you always show up and you always have to be perfect and pretty and good and the best at everything, that's how people receive you. And they're showing up with that wall up too. Oh no, I can't even hang out with her today because I'm not feeling good, and I have eye bags, or I'm tired, or my sense of humor is off today. People feel like they have to be perfect. If they're throwing up a perfect wall to match your perfect wall, then you're never going to meet the real them, and they're never going to meet the real you. You owe it to your heart to allow yourself to come here as the real radiant you. So take a deep breath in, fill your heart with that intention to show up as your real authentic self, flowing with divine light so that it pours out of you. And you'll find out that real prosperity is about how we connect to others in the world, is how we show up for others. Money is just a medium. The things we put in between are just a medium of exchange. They are just a conversation. But when all of that, all of the masks and all of the conversations are pulled away and there's just silence, it's just you and the people around you, the beings around you, and the experiences that are created out of those connections. So go ahead and bring our arms up so that we can get our ego nature out of the way. So you want to draw your arms up into a nice Y shape so that it's coming down into the heart here. Deep breath in, and the fingers are curled under and the thumbs are extended. Sit up nice and tall, crown raised, and let's go ahead and start the fire breath. And deep breath in and hold. Fill your heart, fill your lungs, fill that breath, fill your whole entire being, fill all of your body and your arms and your crown, fill your whole auric field with that deep, deep, full breath. And exhale. Sorry, bring the thumbs up. Touch the thumbs together and pop the hands open. Exhale through the mouth. And just bring your open palms down flat to the floor. And just exhale a few breaths. A few slow, deep breaths out. Anything that no longer serves you. Remove that pillow from off your face so you can breathe. Remove that mask from off of your heart so you can breathe, so that you can actually step into your space fully as the real you. You do not have to be afraid of the world. Whatever experiences you bring, whatever experiences you show up as, is what you will magnetize to you. You don't have to control the world. You don't have to control people's reactions or responses to you. You just have to remove the blocks that keep you from showing up as your real self. When you show up as your real self, you will automatically, just like your breath comes automatically, your heart electromagnetically automatically vibrates and beats and connects you in frequency to all the other beings who are vibrating and beating at the same frequency as you. See that circle above me? Oracally, that is exactly what is taking place in every moment. You do not have to control it. Exhale your control. Exhale the need to show up in a way that you think others need to see. If you go through issues in your neck, whether they're coming from the front, from your thyroid, or whether they're coming from the back through those neck bones, that is a space of controlling how others perceive you, how others receive you. I have this year, last year, when I got in that car accident, and I had to face my neck issues because I got whiplash, and I went through dealing with neck issues, dealing with neck control. This right here, when we stiffen this, when we tighten this is us trying to control how others perceive us and receive us. Relax that, wiggle that loose, open that, open yourselves to being perceived for exactly who you are, for it being received exactly as you are. And if you're messy, that's okay. You don't have to be pretty. We have this fascination with beauty, and beauty is life, beauty is joy, beauty is abundance and prosperity. But we have this fascination with showing up beautiful as though It is not okay to be ugly. It is okay to ugly cry. Sometimes an ugly cry is the most beautiful thing you can do. Sometimes your snappy, owning your snappy, bitchy, anger, attitude is the most beautiful thing you can do. Be with it. Sit with it. Stop hiding it. Hiding things is not harmony. Hiding things is not ma'at. It is not truth. It is not righteousness. It is not honesty. You don't have to hide even the ugly parts. Show up with the ugly parts, but let them be seen. Let them be in the light. Let your ugliness be in the light too. I spent ages not showing up here. I was literally worried about gray hairs, or worried about the way my body looks, and worried about little things. This little piece of roll here, I have missed many days of showing up in public space because I didn't want anybody to see this piece of roll. During the pandemic, when this roll was bigger than this roll, I didn't want anybody to see it. Now, this is my body. I don't care. If you don't like it, you don't have to look at it. I'm showing up for me. And I'm showing up in a space of love, the love that I have for myself. I'm offering that love to everybody. And if you want to show up and receive it, then have some. If you don't want to show up and don't want to receive it, that's okay too. I don't mind. Because I'm showing up first and foremost for me. I'm just showing up from love, and I'm not attached to who receives it or who perceives it. It was so freeing to show up for myself as myself. And this heart work is about that, is about showing up as yourself. I'm showing up with my gray hairs. I'm gonna be 52 years old this year, and I was worried about showing up with gray hair. I have 3 bits of gray hair. I have one on this side, I got like a little cluster of them up here, like 3 or 4 here, and I got a few of them over here. I got a few in the top too, you can't even see those. And I didn't want to show up because I was worried about, at 52 years old, worried about who is seeing my 3 or my 7 gray hairs that are on my head. Imagine how ridiculous that is, to not show up in love because I was afraid to not be perfect. I was keeping that wall, and from behind that wall, I was losing my prosperity. I was losing my abundance. I was losing my grace. Behind that wall of perfection, that wall of fear that my femininity, I had struggles with my femininity a lot of my life. And I was afraid that if I showed up with any of my what are the typical attributes of femininity, if any of those were diminished in me, that I wouldn't be received as my full feminine divine self. And your femininity isn't about your gray hairs. It isn't about your wrinkles. It isn't about your saggy boobs. It isn't about your stomach fat. It isn't about whether your butt is fluffy and poofy or whether it's flat. Like, it isn't about those things. It isn't about your body is going to change. Your body's going to shift. The more deeply I was rooted into my feminine, my divine feminine, the less I started to worry about those things. And of course, we all want to be beautiful. I want to be beautiful. I am a visual person. I like to show up beautiful. I like to show up because beauty is a type of prosperity. Beauty is prosperity. And I want to be prosperous in all levels of my life. I want to be prosperous, but the beauty was showing up in my healthiest, most alive, most vibrant body. And what that really was showing up as my real self. So I'm showing up here with my gray hairs, and I still feel beautiful. I feel beautiful now because I shifted how I felt inside. This heart detox, all the work I did behind the scenes, all the work that I do, all the work that I offer in my courses, in my books, in my products, all of the stuff that I offer is stuff that I have had to work with from behind the scenes. Everything that I offer in service is things that I have worked my way through, is things that I have come through. And life is a process of growth. I'm still always learning and growing and expanding through new levels of showing up as myself. But everything that I offer is all things to help other people do that. I know how damaging it is, how I suffered for years in a space of lack and lacking prosperity, and it damaged my health. My finances were in a mess. It was a horrible way to live. And knowing that there's joy, having deep experiences of prosperity, of abundance, of source connection, and still not reflecting those into my life. That was painful to live that. It is painful to live as not your real self. I know how painful it is because I did it. And so to be in this space of freedom and be alive and be allowed to live in a space of joy, showing up just for me. I'm showing up just with love, that's all. And I'm showing up as myself. And it is so freeing to be able to do that. It is so freeing for other people to be able to see you as your real self. Because people be like, we're all holding on, and everyone's perfect, and everyone's like, oh my God, everybody else is perfect, I need to hold on too. And the first person that's like, actually I'm not perfect, hey, sorry, I can't do the lie anymore, hey, I'm not perfect, I'm me. All of a sudden everybody else is like, oh my God, you either, and everybody releases and let's go. Let's stop waiting to exhale and stop it. Breathe a full breath down into you. Breathe a real heartbeat and connect with people from your real self. And your real self isn't for everybody. Everybody's not gonna like it, but stop being attached. Let go of that attachment to needing people to like it. The only person you need to like is you. The only person you need to like you is you. Forget who likes you. Do you like you? If you don't show up as your real self, that is you reinforcing to yourself that you don't like you. And the more you show up as your real authentic self, the more you will show up as you. And you will see there is a direct correlation between your prosperity, the prosperity you experience in your life, your health prosperity, your financial prosperity, your visual beauty prosperity. Between all of those things, there is a direct correlation between all of the types of prosperity and between how real you are showing up as. So thank you. If you guys are just here connecting, thank you for being here. Please go back. If you are just joining us, today is day 27. If you are just joining us, you can go back and watch, or even just jump in and repeat this, put this on lather, rinse, repeat for 28 days. Commit to yourself for one moon cycle. To do this, we showed up for an entire moon cycle, and tomorrow marks the last day of the moon cycle of us showing up together in this space and releasing these old heart wounds, releasing this stuff so that we can show up and be real. I do this work behind the scenes all the time, and even showing up on camera to do this still shifted me and still changed me. Thank you too, sis. It still changed me. It still shifted things in me. The first 2 days that we did this meditation, the first day I was crying and I held it back and I didn't even want to cry. I was like biting it, like, oh no, I can't show up for everybody with, I can't lead this if I have tears. And I was in a place of like, there had been something that happened and it was upsetting me and I wasn't forgiving, and it healed. It automatically flowed out of me and started to work and just heal and allow me to forgive myself and forgive the person who I was upset with. The next day, I went into a deeper space of forgiveness, and I've had issues that I carry with my parenting that I wish that I had been an amazing mom the entire way. I wish I had been, fully, consciously perfect and showed up into motherhood completely perfect and healed and radiating divinity in every possible way, but I didn't show up like that. I showed up to motherhood wounded and damaged and broken and in a lot of pain. And so there were things that I did that reflected that, and I was in pain about that. And so the next day of the heart detox, day 2, I cried again because these tears of releasing, of me not forgiving myself. That day I let the tears flow. I just let it flow, and the tears of my pain of not showing up as the most perfect mother, I allowed that pain to just release itself out of me and to just cry it out. I cried right on camera, and by day 3 and day 4, I was like giggling. Day 3, I was like steady, and then day 4, I was like laughing, and I broke into just random giggles on camera. Like this process is healing. It is a real healing journey. If I could share, I won't share them, but if I could share the kind of messages I have received from people, the DMs that I have gotten from people who are doing this work, it is incredible how much this is shifting for people. It is really, really powerful medicine. So don't just limit yourself to medicine being herbs and pills and things like that. Yoga is medicine. Especially Wajat yoga. Wajat yoga, like Kundalini yoga, is medicine. This is healing medicine, deeply healing medicine. It is fire element medicine. And just like fire does, earth cleanses by nourishing and gently, removing. Water cleanses by the same process of removal. Fire burns away whatever is not there. So it takes strength to endure the purification of fire. It takes strength to even arrive at the space. So if you have connected with Wajet Yoga, you are in a space in the chamber of being able to be purified by fire, and that is a difficult chamber. I promise. I know that it is. But if you have made it to this space where even this type of work is connecting with you, then you are ready for it. You are ready for the deep levels of purification, deeper than herbs can go, deeper than breath can go. Like, this is healing at a really powerful and deep level, and it will make massive and immediate transformations in your life. So please, please, please share this video to your timeline. Please share it to your story. Please DM other people. Hey, okay, sis. Oh, thank you. I'm glad that the book was wonderful for you. I am, and for other people who don't know that I have written books. I have children's books on Kemetic stories. I am a Kemetic high priestess of Wajet, which is why Wajet Yoga was brought down through me, downloaded into me. And I have a series of books on yoga and on Wajet Yoga. And the first book is a physical healing book. It is about healing, about connecting with the vessel, so that this vessel, we can heal what is below so that it can connect to the above being our external world. Heal what's in here so that you can show up in the world as the best version of yourself. And that first book is about that. The other books are about healing the emotions, about healing the sexual energy, about healing your finances, about healing as a healer, about showing up in the world as a healer and learning how to protect yourself and save yourself from having to pour yourself into everybody and not have your cup filled. And the final book is about being a spiritual master, about just stepping all the way in and using powerful tools that go into spiritual mastery. So all of those books are all available. DM me if you're interested. I have products and I have courses that actually go in flow with all of the books and connect to financial healing, connect to sexual healing, connect to physical healing. So if there are any areas of your life where you feel like that is your block, where your prosperity is being blocked from, the ability to live a joyous and abundant and prosperous life, if you feel the block, connect with me, DM me, mention in the comments, and I will connect you with the work that I have, the offerings that I have that may be able to help you. But please like this video so that Instagram does the whole algorithm thing. Please share this to anybody you know who may need heart medicine. Share it to your timeline and your stories for anybody who you don't know who may connect with it, and please DM it to anybody who you know who may need it. This is day 28 to day 27. I encourage anybody who's just joining us for the first time to go back and to actually go through the series. The videos will only be up, I think the Instagram lives are up for a month. But if you go and connect with those and do the whole process, like commit to yourself this moon cycle, this next new moon, jump in on the new moon and just do the 28 days of this heart detox. Yeah, that's all I've got. Hey, peace says, peace. And so yeah, that's all I've got for today. And I'm about to go jump into my works and everything. I have some new products, new courses that are dropping this month, right in time for this new year, new solar cycle, and the shift that we're entering. So I will share more about those and some other messages later. But I am super grateful to you all for being here. Thank you for connecting with this heart medicine. Please, if you, and I know I talked the whole way through. Anybody who's been here before knows that we're supposed to take the space of stillness. So if you are able, take a space of lying down, or hopefully while I was talking that you were able to take yourself, and lie down for at least a full minute, lie down for 10 minutes if you're able, lie down for a whole hour if you need it. This heart detox definitely shifts your frequency and the electromagnetic frequency in your heart space. And that frequency, every time your heart beats, that frequency is transferred into all 30 trillion of your cells. So your cells need time to reset with the new frequency. And so the longer you're able to hold yourself in stillness after doing this yoga, the better it is for your heart space. And the better it is for all of your body to catch up to the new frequency. And it will make really fast, really immediate shifts in your life. So make sure to lay down. I talked the whole way through the lay down period, so I'm going to go ahead and jump into my work and get forward with the things I'm doing now. But thank you so much. Thank you, sis. I can't wait to share them. I am so excited for them. I've already done we've done a beta testing group with the prosperity course that I did, and it has made massive shifts in people's financial cycle, in their financial healing, financial wounds, and bringing a new attitude to money. We have to stop making a separation between spirituality and money. There is no separation. Everything that is here in this earth plane is something that we as spirit beings housed in bodies have been brought here to connect to and shift and change. So let us get to it and do that, do the change, do the shift, be the growth. So thank you all so much. Love you, and see you all tomorrow. Have an amazing rest of your day.